one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing on the agenda is Susan. Talk now.
The first thing I have is approval of the payroll distribution, and the amount for that is $151,297.19.
I'll
Any
make a
discussion?
motion. I'll make a motion to approve the payroll.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made and second. We'll vote by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, sorry. Aye.
Go ahead. I vote aye also. Vote, motion made, second, carried 3-0.
Okay, and then the next is the approval of the claims for May 3rd of 2021, County General Highway, any advances. The total for that is $610,831.76.
Any discussion?
There are a couple of them. So claim 59 and claim, and if I talk too fast, you can't hear me down there because it's probably take follow-up. And claim number 5,
Are you talking County General, Highway, or Circuit Court?
general, and then highway claims 5, the highway claims number 5, and then general is 59.
Okay.
Those are both Monday, and they're for computer software maintenance and repair and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we've got the contract with Ongen. I just was wondering, do we know why we're still using Monday at other locations, or is there anybody, council, your 2 council members?
The highway has always used Monday, so Ongen, with his contract, it isn't for,
It's for the county, because when it was approved,
Well,
it was for the county.
I know Intech never did anything with the highway. Am I right in saying that, Steve?
I think when we approved that, Greg, I know it was a big discussion. Yes, it was for the county,
Yeah.
but it didn't include the Annex South. And he said he would go ahead and do that. I think the highway was still spun off yet.
Oh, it was.
It did not include that.
That was done in December, so I'm learning. So
Yeah, I think it probably should.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe next year we need to look at that.
Okay.
If it's okay with the highway.
yeah.
Well, I guess,
But,
I mean-
my question is, does the contract exclude the highway department and the armory?
That night, it was just for the courthouse here. And he said he would include the Armory Annex.
Right, but it's based on so many hours, right?
Yeah.
They're correct?
And the highway
Right.
was never brought up at that time. I think you bought a new system through Ag Monday, didn't you? Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
If-
So I guess I kinda thought that time, we had some, once you buy a new system, you got a,
Hours warranty kind of thing?
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Right, but what, if we're contracted with Ann Island for X amount of hours,
That's where I'm
then we
going.
can use them wherever needed, correct?
Yeah, if we have surplus of
If I
hours,
can
we
just
should be
speak
able
a
to
few
use them wherever.
things to that.
Mhm.
I know that we had here at the court, just here at the courthouse, what I'm aware of. I
Uh-huh.
know we were way behind on getting a lot of the computers up to Windows 10. And then there were new computers that were bought that needed to get prepared and up and running and hooked up with the different software
Yeah.
vendors. And we were a little concerned about using up the hours that were allotted and the timing that was allotted for each quarter.
Yep.
Because we pay them per quarter and they keep track of the hours. I know that we had, we purchased some equipment so that we can do iCloud backup.
Yep.
And that is up and running well, but it cost a little bit up front to get the appliances that were needed to do that. It's, it's a one-time cost for that, but it came out of this year's funds. Also for antivirus protection and things like that needed to be done, that wasn't being done enough. We also had to purchase some additional equipment for that. We received some invoices for back payments of amounts due from our previous vendor. we're getting caught up, we're not caught up yet.
Okay. I'd just like
We've
to-
already, what we do is, they let us know when we've used up our hours for that quarter, and we pay for the next quarter. We are kind of we've already been dipping into the next quarter's stuff to try to get caught up. We hope that we'll get to a point where we do get caught up. So it was my understanding that that was the number one thing first, just to get caught up with what we needed to have done
Well, absolutely.
with all the offices.
Yeah.
And then I think what the idea was to go ahead and expand out. Now, if that's not the case and you want Anjan to do the other buildings, it's probably gonna involve an appropriation anyway, somewhere down the road.
Well,
But
I
if,
think-
but if it's going to take on more, it's gonna be more.
My concern was that if we had hours in the bank, we should use Anjan, one, because we've already paid for the hours, but it sounds like we're not. So we
Yeah,
have
we-
hours negative in the bank, so that's okay.
We,
But if we get to the point
we
where we
hope we're
have
catching,
positive
we hope we're
hours.
gonna get caught up and
Yeah,
get,
if we get positive hours in the bank, we've already paid for them. We already use them wherever we need them. And the other thing is, nothing against Egg Monday, because I mean, they're a good company. But one, that you get charged for them traveling in here, because they're not gonna do that for free. And then the other one is their hourly rate is higher than Anjan's. And just as good a work coming out of Anjan as Egg Monday. So if we have the opportunity to do that, I think that's a place where we can save money. So that's the only reason I brought it up, was the only reason. But
So-
since you explained it well, that we're already dipping in the next
and
quarter.
I'm not
so-
aware what kind of contract the other departments have regarding IT, so I don't, or what kind of budget they have. So
Right.
that may be something of a further discussion. I sit in on updates from Anjan whenever he lets us know where we're at.
But that's, budget time's not that far away, so that's something to keep in mind, guys, when we do our budget. If we can transfer over to a cheaper vendor like that, a local vendor too, that we
A
know that
local
we can
vendor.
trust, you know.
But we're very happy with the service. He's been very responsive. Things are going good, I think.
Well, when we need extra work beyond what the quarterly budget is, then who
We hope
makes?
that maybe when we get towards the end of the year, we're going to be,
Right, but right now, if we need additional services beyond the quarterly allotment, who makes a decision who to call? That's my question.
we get with Anjan and talk with him about, and he knows to kind of keep us up to date if we're getting near the use for that quarter.
Okay.
You know, I mean, prioritizing what's, needed
Yeah, I
the
know,
most.
Oh, and you're doing the right one, prioritizing, because those computers actually sat on the shelf for a while too, so they're, that's never good if you have a brand new computer sitting on a shelf. And so our last contract, I know he kind of let that slide and they sat there for a while. So it's good that Anjan's catching those up and getting them out to use, because they got to end of life whether you use them or not. It's not like a car that's got 0 miles on it, it's still a great car. They deteriorate whether they sit on the shelf or not because of processor speed. So that you put it in the right place right now. But I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have hours sitting out there and then we're calling it Monday, to take care of something we shouldn't.
We hope to get to that point maybe one
That'd
day,
be great.
but we're getting closer, but it's just, there's still outstanding work to be done.
And the next one, I'm gonna apologize for, because I bet no one knows the answer, but if someone could look into it, I'd appreciate it. Harris Computer Systems, this is General Claims 136. It's a considerable amount, and I have no idea what it's for.
And what budget, under general or?
General, line item, claim number 136.
Harris is our open windows. That's payroll,
Oh,
accounts
okay.
payable.
Okay, yeah, I got you. That's your
Right.
software that you're doing.
That's
all
the
that
software.
For the auditors and
Mhm.
treasurer office there.
Or your general ledger.
Right,
and all of
the
that.
ledger.
Thank you, thank you. And then I've only got one last one, and I'm sorry.
That's
General Claims 147, that one is for sharps, the disposal of sharps.
Oh.
And I want to just make sure that, I got 2 council members here too, I want to earmark that one, because that one's one we can get back, right? So,
That's correct, isn't it?
Like over $3,000 in supplies for the sharps, budgeted $9,000.
But is that Sharps?
this is a sharps disposal cost, and it's $680 some odd dollars.
Right, but is that with the health department or?
Health department.
And
Is
since.
that tied in with the immunization clinic, or is that something different?
The only
They-
reason that I know that they would use Sharp is for
Oh,
immunization.
no, they have their other vaccination.
Well,
clinics as
immunizations, yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just the COVID that it would count for, or is it all immunization clinics?
Well, remember at the meeting, Markham said that the grant could cover, how did he say that? It couldn't cover the needles that they've already used up to that date. Remember that?
I know.
Then he said you could actually buy disposable boxes with the grants versus, then you could store those needles that we come up to this date with, then we can dispose them somewhere else, some other way.
Right.
But I don't think you can take that money and go back prior to that grant and get rid of it. Way I understood it off the
It's all the way to
market.
January now. We can actually.
Go all the way back to January?
All the way back to January at this
Well, that's about
point.
the
Really,
time.
and really the clinic opened in February, so really whenever the clinic opened, right? The vaccine clinic.
Oh, yes.
It should be
The
February.
state health department said we could go back to January 1,
Okay.
but if we didn't have the clinic until February, then.
That's when your starting date is.
But still has to be
January
COVID.
13th
Yeah.
was the first,
Yeah, it can't be
first
regular.
vaccination day.
Vaccination clinics,
Oh, that's.
It has to be
they're-
COVID-19 related.
And we have sharps disposal and the box. The actual disposal of the boxes and the boxes and the grant budget.
Oh, good, 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 okay. I just wanted to, if that was one we could grab, I just wanted to grab it. I saw it, I thought, oh, there's money that we can pull from another basket, so. That's it, I'll
I got
shut
one
up now.
question on the first item, Greg. I would like to leave it up to the highway. I don't want to force anything on the highway with the computers out there. So down the road at budget time, whatever you guys think, because you guys don't really use the computers as much as what they do here at the courthouse, you wouldn't near have the maintenance that we would have here.
I don't have a problem switching to other, we don't
Okay.
have a contract.
We just want to get your opinion on that before we.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. It's a discussion, I just wanted to start the discussion, because we hadn't
Yeah.
talked about that in open
Yeah, because
public
of-
session with anybody that I know since December.
Yeah.
And so it's been long enough that we should know if we've got hours, you know, and what we can do with them and that kind of stuff, so.
Okay, any more discussion?
Nope. I'll motion that we approve it, finally, sorry.
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded, vote by roll call, Greg?
Aye?
Randy?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0. All right, next on the agenda is Alan Malone.
yeah.
That mic picks up everything.
Yeah, it does.
As you all know, this week is National Correctional Officers Week. And as you guys usually do, I'd like for you guys to recognize them. And I just like to recognize them. For the last year, they've been through a lot with this pandemic. And they have really done a good job with all the extra duties that we've had to put together for them. I just really appreciate it, but I would appreciate it if usually every year you all read the proclamation. Yeah, and I would appreciate if you would do it.
Yep.
And, but again, they've been through a lot this week, or this year, and I would just appreciate if you all would continue to do that for me. All right?
All right, excuse me, Alan asked me to read it. So, it's proclamation, Correctional Officers Week in Perry County. Whereas May 2nd through May 8th, 2021 will be declared across the United States of America as National Correctional Officers Week. And whereas this week has been set aside to recognize our correctional officers for their professionalism, hard work, dedication, and efforts in protecting those in their custody and the public's safety. Whereas the corrections profession is one of the most challenging and noble professions one can pursue. Whereas other criminal justice agencies and members of the public are encouraged to acknowledge the important role that corrections officers, both at the Perry County Detention Center, community corrections facilities, along with the Branchville Correctional Facility and probation, play in the protection and services to all Perry County communities. Now therefore, we, the Board of Commissioners, Perry County, do hereby proclaim the week of May 2nd through the 8th, 2021 as National Correctional Officers Week, and invite the citizens of Perry County to share in the thanking of the Perry County Correctional Officers and the Indiana Department of Correctional Officers for the outstanding job they perform on a daily basis in their service to the entire community. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hand and caused the seal of Perry County to be affixed this 3rd day of May, 2021.
Very well said. Do we need to have a motion to
Yeah.
accept that?
Yes.
Randy or Greg, do you have
So
any
motion.
comments?
So motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion made and second. We'll vote by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
All right. I vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0. Yeah, tell Alan, make sure, tell me we do appreciate what they do. I know it's not an easy job. I've worked beside them a few times and it's not easy.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is a support letter for Route Zero.
No,
Steve
no.
Howe.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yep.
skip Steve Howe. Steve?
Before you start, Steve, congratulations on
Well, thank you.
the community crossings.
Yes.
We were really tickled to get that. What I have is two things. One's that they brought out the draft for the bridge inspection report. Went over it with me and Jared today, and there's a few changes in it, but there was changes for the better. There's a copy of it there if you guys wanted to review it. I didn't know if you wanted to have a chance to look at that or go ahead and sign off on it. It was all right. It looked okay to us.
I mean, I thought maybe look at it tomorrow. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, do you need action tonight?
No, it don't have to be done tonight. I just
Okay.
wanted to make you all aware of
Mid-month
it.
meeting.
Mid-month meeting? They
Okay.
give us time to review it.
Yeah. Then I have a, second item I have is for a detour on State Road 62 over by Possum Junction. They're gonna replace a small structure right before you intersection with 145. And this is, they're asking for an unofficial detour. And I put Cottonwood Road as a detour. I've got a map here if you guys wanna look at it.
Where's the bridge at on,
Right before Possum Junction intersection.
okay.
It doesn't shut down to 145. That's the only way around it.
It's on 145?
Yeah, well, it goes from 62, goes down
Mhm.
Cottonwood and then back to 145,
But where's the bridge at?
right here.
Oh, on 62.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
How long, Steve, are they expecting this?
They said it might be later this fall before they even got started on it,
Oh,
but it'll be maybe a month shut down.
Oh, okay, well, that's not too bad.
You guys decide if you,
Okay. What kind, is Cottonwood Road in good shape?
yeah, pretty good, yeah. They'll have an official detour that will stay on the state road, but
Right.
this is their unofficial that they'll wait to do.
Any discussion, Randy or Greg? Good. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
Second.
Motion made and second. Roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
aye.
Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
That's all I had, thank you guys.
Now, Alvin Evans.
I'm bringing you the first affidavit from TIF number 3, 2021 bonds. And it's for the payment of the stream mitigation that occurred on, down with Wapaka Montefiore. And also includes the construction work on that first. And then the engineering on the part of that work that was being done. And it includes the, which is $660,478, the total for that. And the relocation of the Hoosier Energy Power Line, this is a partial of $348,643, or 300, yeah. And that's there. The total invoice was $426,893, and $78,250 was paid out of it, out of the 2016 bonds.
This has all already been approved by the redevelopment.
Yes, these are the projects that we approved through the 2021. The bonds have been sold. They were sold last Friday, last Wednesday. And money, I don't know if it's gotten to the account yet, but it's on its way to the account, so for payment of the affidavit. So this total affidavit is $1,009,122.
Any discussion?
Motion to approve?
Okay, I'll second that motion.
Okay, I think we've talked about this before. I'll take about roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Motion made, second, and I vote aye. Motion made, second, carried 3-0 to approve the affidavit. All right. Do we have,
I will pass this down for your signatures for the approval.
okay.
Are you gonna talk about route?
Yep, whenever you're ready.
Might as well. We can sign while we're listening.
Yes?
All right.
I included a copy of this letter and a map showing where Route O is in your.
This is on Mid-State Corridor, which is still going through the engineering process, and they're narrowing down the routes, so there's people who live on specific routes are arguing, or group organizations, or which route to be selected. The main corridor is naturally from 231, I-64 up to Heidelberg, Jasper, and then either to the east or west side, probably going to be the east side, and then goes north to Jasper, and then the decision is to go west or due north or east. The eastern route goes through French Lick and ties into existing State Road 37 at Mitchell. And so that'll be the route. And this one's being promoted by the French Lick area, and it is really the only route that benefits Perry County out of the routes that are being selected. So that's the effort, is to do that. So I'm on the committee that's working on this, and asking the people in our government and businesses to support route goals. So it's in tourism-wise, it will tie all of us together, and by using our existing 145-37 connection down. So and that's probably that's the biggest argument in the arguing part.
Helps with the industry too, though, as well.
Helps with the industry, but it's the likelihood of it. The preliminary report is stating that it'll be a freeway style or a super tube, not an interstate, which by the time this is completed, 65 will be 6-lane, and so I doubt if trucks will move off it. Move up to something that still has stoplights and cross traffic. Anyway, that's it. But it would be a big benefit for tourism.
It'll give an alternative to go to any, even without the truck traffic.
Without the truck traffic, or with the truck, that's right.
Be a plus.
Yes, that'd be the plus.
So,
Yeah.
say up by Mitchell, Orleans, up through there. Now, they did a lot of work on 37. What, Chris? You travel that every day.
It's been a while back now,
Yeah, it's been probably 5 years ago.
It's been at least
Uh,
10
So
years
will they
ago.
upgrade it even more then?
Probably not for not now, not if they're going by what the report's recommending. It could change where it would be at, but a freeway
Actually,
style or
It's fine from Paoli.
from Mitchell, from south side of Mitchell.
From Orleans to, from Mitchell's best. Getting from
Yeah.
Paoli to Mitchell's the hard part.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of the
And French
improvement
Lick,
will
of
be.
course. French Lick
Yes,
over
from
there.
French Lick to Mitchell is
Is
where
that's the tough
that's the
spot.
part that needs to be upgraded.
Well, if you're really looking at the true mid-state corridor, that's really mid-state right there.
That's
It's-
true.
I mean, it's-
That's right. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, traveling to Indy, I wouldn't wanna have to go backtrack, go through the Goldie and.
No. No, yeah, just-
Well, you hit French
Where you
Lick
going
and be on
now?
your way.
That's right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
What's the best, I know it's really way too far out. What are we looking at, a 10-year project, 15?
It'll be 10 years whenever it starts, be 15 probably before it starts, so, in all honesty, so we're looking at
Chris,
20.
you'll be retired.
20
Well, that's the
years.
plan.
I don't.
My plan's to be retired in 10 years.
I still agree. Indy though.
You gotta start somewhere, don't you?
That's right, you gotta start sometime.
Yeah, I remember they bypassed Yankeetown with that 4-lane. And then finally it tied in, so. All right, any other discussion, or entertain a motion to,
I'll make that motion to support, is it 0 or is it O?
Oh,
O.
I second, and sign the letter, it's heading your way.
motion made, second, and go by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
All right, now vote aye. Motion made, second, carried, 3-0. Oh,
Send that down.
If you pass it back, I'll put it with all the other stuff.
Oh, they've got one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've each got one, but as long as they sign one.
you want that?
No, I'll take it back and get it back to.
Yeah, I'm
Greg,
gonna,
Greg.
Great.
He'll
Keep it all signed out.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Alan?
I guess on Industrial Park South Entrance Road improvements, if you got, if you've made a decision on whether to proceed with
Said,
it.
that was about 80,000.
About $80,000, yes. Mhm.
I think Pam brought up that we have,
303,807.
huh?
303,807.
In the extra
Extra edit funds.
Yeah.
edit money.
Special.
Yeah, I drafted an ordinance for you guys to consider, which I sent out, taking the money from seated, up to that amount from seated distribution fund 7312.
And then this will go to the council, right?
The
If we-
appropriation will go to the council.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I for one think that that's a very good place to spend that, extra edit money.
That's what it's made for.
Mhm.
I agree with that, so I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I've got one question for you. Is it, it's still all bid though, right? I mean, this is just approving the.
Which one's the extra?
Potential,
Up
up
to-
to 80.
It's up to $80,000 what's approved. It's still, yeah, there's being, actually, the amount where we can ask for quotes, and so quotes have been sent to four companies.
Anything over 50,000, you have to get quotes. Anything over what has to be?
300,000 is bid. Is bid.
2 or 3.
Yes.
I always have to look every single time.
Yeah.
They change it.
Yeah, so,
Sorry, I'm still learning, so.
No, you're
No,
fine.
yes.
so it'll be four have been sent out. We had to send out 3, we sent out 4, so.
Well, you can go ahead and share it.
But what we're doing now is approving up to $80,000, and then the final amount will be,
Whatever the best quote is.
And that'll be brought to you your first meeting next month, so, for that.
We open it here.
Right.
I'm good.
okay?
Seconded then. so.
Okay. Motion made and seconded, and vote by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
So are they doing
Great.
the
Aye.
I
amendment?
also vote aye.
Yeah.
Vote-
Okay.
Motion made, second, carried, 3-0.
And then here's the additional that you'll want to.
And I'm finished.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you, Alvin.
Are we ready? Is it time for the?
Well, Pam had
estimate?
prepared a request for additional appropriation. I don't know if we need to do that now, or if we need to wait till we actually get the bid
It
awarded.
has to be done, well,
Well,
for
For
advertising.
advertising, you need to approve it.
And it has to be advertised 10 days before the
Right.
Right.
meeting.
But if this causes a month delay by waiting till the quotes come in, then that probably won't hurt the project.
So we don't have the quotes yet?
No, see, we don't even have an award yet, so I thought the
Well-
additional would happen once the project's awarded, then you can do you don't have to do the additional until the money's due.
Well,
So we've got
then
time.
You've got
Mhm.
time.
I think you
Well,
should
then-
wait on that.
Okay.
And then it will be the exact amount?
Yeah, then we'll have the
Okay.
exact amount up to the 80,
Okay.
whatever.
Well, then we'll
Okay.
correct that, make that right.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so they did approve the amendment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is my agenda?
American Rescue Plan.
All right. Okay.
Did you
Amer-
sign one, Tom?
I have not, is it coming down?
What?
Now, when
Send
will
it your
be
way.
coming to the May 18th?
The one I wrote on?
The ordinance?
Yeah, the ordinance is coming your way.
Okay.
Sorry.
Usually they come from that direction.
I know, but nobody signed one, so I sent
Well,
one.
we've got one here. With the little signature lines all marked, but you keep jumping the gun on us.
I took the effort. All right.
Here is the
You're getting anxious
ordinance.
over there.
Okay. American Rescue Plan ordinance, which is required. Now let you explain all that. Chris?
Yeah, so the American Rescue Plan requires that the county commissioners, in the case of a county, pass an ordinance and develop a plan. We've talked at length about how this is going to work, so there'll be a committee formed of representatives of the council, commissioners, and the public. That's not what this ordinance is about. This ordinance sets up a fund, which we're required to set up, which is a non-reverting distinct fund identified as the ARP Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Grant Fund number blank. And Pam will have to fill in the blank. I probably won't, I don't know. I'll let her fill that in. Perry County Treasurer is the custodian. The auditor is the auditing agent. All money that comes in from the grant goes into that fund and is spent by appropriation from the council in furtherance of the plan, which will be developed. And the ordinance lays out within it the use of the funds, which was taken directly from the law that was passed. So the costs that can be covered by the plan and must be used by December 31st, 2024 currently, is A, to respond to the public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease 2019 or its negative economic impacts, including assistance to households, small businesses, and nonprofits, or aid to impacted industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. B, to respond to workers performing essential work during COVID-19 public health emergency by providing premium pay to eligible workers of the metropolitan city, non-entitlement unit of local government, or county that are performing such essential work, or by providing grants to eligible employers that have eligible workers who perform essential work. C, for the provision of government services to the extent of the reduction in revenue of such metropolitan city non-entitlement unit of local government or county due to the public health emergency relative to revenues collected in the most recent full fiscal year of the county, in our case, prior to the emergency. And D, to make necessary investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. And then the ordinance states that the Board of Commissioners will develop a plan that will detail the specific uses. The reason it says Board of Commissioners is because that's what they task us with doing. But as I said, we'll use the committee for assistance on that. And the ordinance and the plan may be amended as any other ordinance or plan as long as the amendment complies with the requirements of the ARP. Any specific appropriations by the county council shall be deemed a part of the plan or an amendment to the plan as appropriate when the appropriations are made. And this is a non-reverting fund which takes effect immediately. And we should be getting money, I believe, in the next
11.
2 weeks?
11.
2 weeks, week?
11, yeah.
Yeah, so hence the need to pass the ordinance is
Yeah,
today.
and basically this is establishing the account.
It's essentially establishing the account and as a non-reverting account, yes.
And referencing that we have.
And referencing that we're going to have a plan.
Now, we don't have to name the plan in there, there doesn't have to be a specific name for it. mentioned?
According to what I have seen, it does not. Now, if I'm wrong on that, we'll amend it
We'll
real
amend it.
quick
We'll amend
and
it.
fix it, because the laws are, the regs are, as you know,
Yeah.
they're bouncing all over the place
Yeah.
right now, so.
That's cool. Well, at our,
We'll have to be really flexible on this,
right.
as
And-
far as that.
And I know at the Indiana 15 meeting, it was mentioned that there was a sample ordinance that they had. Was that close? Lou?
It's boilerplate, isn't it, almost? I mean,
This one was taken, it's one that I was sent as a sample from one of my sources. If there's one that has something significant anybody thinks we should look at, we can amend it in.
I think they're pretty close.
I think so. Any of them I've seen are kind of like this. They all lay out the fund name and the fact that it's non-reverting, and they all lay out the uses of the funds in broad terms. And from there's a few differences here and there, but sorry, I've got allergies.
Okay.
Non-ordinance related, but I do have something that I wanted to add to the discussion if I can, Tom.
Well, we want to address this ordinance first and then go on to that?
We can, that's fine, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll motion to approve the ordinance, that's an easy one.
okay,
I'll second that.
okay. Motion made and second, vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Right.
I vote aye also. 3-0. Okay.
So
Okay, go ahead, Greg.
So in the last council meeting and last commissioner meeting, I talked about what a racing chart was.
They need to sign
But basically, it's a way of
They
making
need
sure
to
that
sign
you
when
understand
it's
roles and
not
responsibilities
stapled.
inside of a
That's what
project.
Teresa
Sign
said.
this one.
And so we've got responsible and approved. When we last talked with the council, we talked about having 2 commissioners and 2 council members, and I think 4 from the public, isn't that right? 8 total?
Mhm.
But if you look at it, since the commissioners have to approve it, it doesn't make much sense not to have all 3 of us on the committee. But we also want to keep it to where it's even. So, we want to do the 3 commissioners, 3 council people, and I think, Charlie, you were named on that one, and Luke, you were too, and so there'd be a 3rd that you would name. And then 1 council person appointment, which would be in the public, 1 commissioner appointment, which would be in the public, and then 1 done by the joint, so that we basically all have a say on that 3rd one. That gives us 9. It gives us that uneven number that we like to have, and then it also allows us to have a good mix, 3, 3, and 3. I have talked to Charlie and Luke about this earlier, just to make sure that they were okay with it as well, and I think I can get head nods from them if that's all right. Yep, thank you. And then I also put in here consultants, this is just a starting list. It's basically PCDC, Perry County Community Foundation, Region 15, obviously, the 2 mayors, obviously, and there'll be more, that come in there. We talked about earlier with the Troy, we probably need to have a representative from Troy. I guess when I thought about Tell City Troy, I just put it all in one there. The other one is Inform, which is to keep Pam and Teresa informed, obviously, because they got to take care of minutes and all the other good stuff they do for us. And then Perry County News, and then obviously the public with open meetings and minutes. It's just a way of organizing it so that we've got it down on paper and it's there. If somebody from the outside says, well, how does this work? They can see this document and it kind of explains itself.
I do have a question, and I'll direct it to Chris if he doesn't mind. If we have this board with 3 commissioners and 3 council people, and we meet to appoint the other ones, is that any violation of the open door?
Yeah, it needs to be a public meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Any meeting of this group with those numbers, since the commissioners, any more than 1 commissioner makes it a meeting, so,
Yeah.
All right,
yes.
okay, I just wanted that.
So we just give 48 hours notice, post it as usual, and
And I think that was the plan from the beginning,
Right.
that there's going to be public meetings with appropriate notice.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But I didn't know about the discussion about the other members.
Yeah.
yeah, and
That we're appointing.
we can even do that right after a council meeting, just have a quick 15-minute after the joint meeting and knock it out, right? So, I mean, it should be pretty simple, I hope, I don't see a lot of arguments in this group, hopefully, so.
Right, I would suspect that the council appointment would need to be done at a council meeting.
Yep, absolutely. And ours as well as a commissioner, right? So,
Right,
yep,
and we can do that on the 18th.
yep, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So, would it be proper then to make a motion to accept this, as our rendition of the, committee? Because it does differ then from the councils. You took official action, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Or then would the proper
We'll
thing do,
amend
amend it?
Yeah, we'll amend it at our next meeting to
Okay.
correspond with what
Okay.
you have suggested.
Yeah, so you guys
No
pass that
heartache
one
from
and
the
they
council
can,
on that you can think of, or?
No.
Okay, good.
so you all can pass this, and then they can choose to
To amend it.
consider amending it at the next meeting of the council.
And we'll have to then figure out where we're gonna have them. It'll have to be probably a larger venue
Yeah,
than here.
Oh, yeah.
probably high school.
Yeah, and we may be able to rotate it a little bit too, so that we can get it out in the north part of the county as well.
That's fine.
Yep.
Right, and I say something to Jody about, she seems to be the keeper of that.
Yeah, I'll get ahold of Shoto and see if he's okay with it.
All right.
Knowing Shoto, that's probably him texting me. Nope, never
All
mind.
right, this will be, hopefully we'll put enough time in this to make the right decisions. I know there'll be some time restraint, but we got some time, so.
Yep.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to accept this as our rendition of the committee.
So motion?
Randy, you got any discussion?
I'll second that, I guess. I really wasn't wanting to be on it, but, with all the criticism we got at the last, but.
Your name's eventually gonna be on it anyway, though, that's the thing, right, so.
All right, well, motion made and second, and vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye also. So motion made and second carried 3-0.
Thank you.
All right, next thing on the agenda, decision regarding the Canna RX drug program. We discussed this at our last meeting. Susan, are you familiar, do you want to catch up people on it, or?
Oh, I can't.
Or you can, whoever?
Yeah, so apparently,
I'm sorry.
it's all right. I don't know a ton about it yet either, but we were notified by Apex, which is our insurance consulting company, that some of our employees are receiving medications from Canna RX, which is a Canadian prescription drug service. A few years ago, that company received a letter from the United States Federal Food and Drug Administration warning that some of the drugs they were supplying may be tainted or counterfeit or otherwise not in accordance with U.S. law. So Apex brought this to our attention. They're concerned about continuing that program, at least as a Perry County sponsored program. So they sent an email to Pam asking that we consider terminating the relationship with Canna RX for that reason. So I looked it over. You know, what their recommendation seems to make sense to me. They've got a lot of experience in this area. And this came in long before we hired them, I believe. I couldn't tell you exactly how many years, I don't even know.
Well, generally, the plan trustees, which is myself, Luke Thomas, the president of the council, and Pam Goffnett, make recommendation to the commissioners on any changes in our plan. So, Luke, I'd mentioned to you earlier, do you see an issue with this, or do we need to have a meeting with the trustees first?
And you
or-
certainly can do that. It's not earth-shattering that we do it tonight. It's,
I would yield to Chris's legal advice on it.
Hmm?
I would yield to Chris's legal advice on it. That's the relationship.
So you're okay with
Yeah.
ending it? Okay.
Yeah, that came several years ago. I remember when we implemented that it was, you had to do it by mail and get it sent in. You'd save quite a bit of money and stuff. But I don't know how many, not too many people used it, I don't
I
think.
think two.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was prior to Apex, so.
it may have been 4, as many as 4, I think, but.
Then we have another one now with the True RX, so, I mean.
Yeah, it's not that we
Similar.
don't have a prescription plan, it's just a different plan
Yeah.
than this one, correct?
But this is one of, True RX is kind of like, it's not Canadian based, but it's like this one that allows you to find that cheaper, a place where you get
Yes.
the drug cheaper, or
Mhm.
discounts.
Yes.
Could I add something? On this new plan, the specialty drugs, there were a couple of them, I was one of them, and I went with the new plan like we talked about, and they're not the manufacturer of the drug is paying the whole cost.
Wow.
It's not costing me anything out of pocket, it's not costing the county insurance.
That's
So I think
great.
it's
Good.
fantastic.
So that's a great
could get-
plan.
Thank you for that
could get
news.
Really expensive, very expensive. Mhm. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion, since I think.
So motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second, we'll vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye?
Randy?
Aye.
I vote also to, I guess, to cut our ties with Canada XRX.
Kenna RX, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the vote was
The vote
to
was
discontinue,
not-
correct?
To discontinue it.
To
Right.
discontinue.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anything that needs signed, I guess
She
it's not.
doesn't have anything here, so,
Sorry, my motion should have been clear, that was my fault.
no,
We're good. Next thing on the agenda, Teresa, you have a board appointment with the.
Just a notification of an upcoming appointment that will be expiring at the end of June. It is a position on the Airport Authority. This is a 4-member board, and it is no more than 2 from the same political party. This is a Republican position. It's currently held by Ken Rowland. It's a 4-year term, and Mr. Rowland is aware that his term is coming to an end. And just to give the proper 6-week notification, you would appoint on June 15th. At your June 15th meeting. So it's just a notification. Thanks.
All right, and under miscellaneous, Herb Landers is here. Would you care to give us an update on the animal shelter?
Can you come to the speaker? We're live streaming. So.
Well, they
For
can't.
the world outside
The world
of
can't
here,
pick you
yes.
up, we can, but the world can't.
Don't have anything major. The last time we spoke, ITV had 3 issues. Their doubt from the support of the community. I've talked with them again about that. I have offered, 2 of the commissioners have made themselves available to discuss anything with them and try to get this moving forward. So we've done the best we can on that one. The second one was they were afraid they would be bombarded by cats and so overran that they'd be full. I haven't even got it on Facebook yet, but we have set up a spade and neuter clinic with Dr. Peavy from California for, I believe it's June the 14th, out at 10624 Sunflower Road, Tell City, Indiana. We can take up to 100 cats at reduced cost. After I get it on the internet, and ITV is going to put this on both their sites, Du Bois County is going to share it, then everybody can apply for assistance through Spade and Neuter Indiana and Pet Service Indiana to get all this done at low cost. And hopefully we can do up to 100 cats that day, which would theoretically reduce 3,500 kittens throughout the rest of the summer. So that's tried to take care of the second issue. The third issue, and the most concerning to them, is the like that we only have 2 vets in our county, and one said they want nothing to do with the animal shelter. So they've got 1 vet in our county that agreed to do what he can possibly do to help. And so I sent them a list of all the vets we could find, going from Corden, New Albany, Georgetown, Huntingburg, Dale, McQuady, Kentucky, Owensboro, and currently, to the best of my knowledge, ITV is contacting all these vets, trying to find a supporter and get some prices to see if they can afford to do it. Because if they have to take every cat, dog that they take in all the way to Evansville, that's going to be very costly. Evansville has 41 plus vets in the city limits. But even last week, all 41 of them vets were so busy, ITV transported animals to Jasper, Indiana. So a vet is the main concern. I sent them a message this morning to try to see if I could get any kind of an update. Their board meeting is either this Thursday or next Thursday. So I'll get an update after their next board meeting. I know it's not what anybody wanted to hear, but it's all I got.
Well, and I want to remind people too that if anybody is interested in, other than ITV, we're not in contract with them
No.
by any means. So, any other interest, I mean, we've got funding and we've got a facility, so, you know, hopefully we can get somebody to operate it. I mean,
Equipment.
and equipment, I mean, we're set up pretty good, we just need somebody to step up and be able to operate it. I think the community support, I believe we have that. I mean, I know they had concerns of that, but we've got a lot of people.
That's the one that really shocks me, is that they have that outlook that we don't have
Yeah.
community support, because I see totally the opposite. I mean, and I know you do too.
I'm just the opposite also. I told them, I mean, I thought they have, you know, if you can get 90% community support, you're doing great, but somebody's gonna oppose it or be against anything you do.
Yeah.
And that's what I told them. I think they have a lot better support from Perry County than when they accepted Spencer County. Spencer County was against it. I mean, they didn't want to bring them in, and they still have opposition to Spencer County. And I think Perry County is going to help them
Yeah.
as far as every way, including volunteers.
Right, I couldn't name an opposition to it in the county. I mean, but, you know, they have their own, and the vets, I mean, the veterinarians, yeah, we lost a good one.
We did.
I wish we had more, but we don't.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, even the vets out here, I was dealing with Karen, the one that has control of that. And I think she started out around right at $500,000 and came down to $350,000 before she listed it. And anybody could have walked in there and took over X-ray machines, lock, stock, and barrel. And I went through the health department. I went through the vets for the Indiana State Board of Health. Went through our health department. Contacted people we could through different universities. Like if one of your nieces is ready to graduate, they could walk in a building that Doc Decker had did. Well, I won't say his number, but very high amount of business up to the day he passed away. I mean, they could have walked in there for $350,000 at the last time, had the truck, everything they needed, including the medicine on the shelf, and just started business.
In the business established, I mean,
Yeah.
you had an established business, and that's huge.
Well, right now, you've got 3-month wait on a lot of things just to get your animal into the vet. So,
And Purdue is one of the few still doing it, right? They're one of the few that still have a vet program that's actually pushing out vets at this point, is that?
I don't know.
I think they're one of the few still. There's not a lot of vet programs out there, is from my understanding, period, so.
I think
Purdue's
Texas
one
and
of them.
California, 2 of them, I believe.
But you,
I don't know that.
What's wrong, my brother went for pre-vet, and his 2 daughters are now there at pre-vet, so hopefully we'll turn out a veterinarian and they'll come back.
hopefully.
Any questions?
Thank you, Herb.
What do they need for public, to get past it out? I mean, are they telling you what they need us to do?
No, they just said they,
'Cause
well,
I see it too, I see we have great support.
I-
So I don't know, I mean, they need to.
Get a survey, what you
What
need,
is
yeah.
it that they need?
well, the
to
last
prove that
conversation,
we have support?
the last
Social
conversation,
media, something, I mean,
the last conversation I had about support, what their main reference is, people actually adopted from there. They said it's not that we support them being there. They're afraid they're gonna have to take every animal they take in
Oh,
somewhere else
Oh, I see.
to adopt it out.
oh, okay.
And so I happened to come across a number from a few years ago and sent it to them just about 2 weeks ago. It showed how many animals was actually taken in from 2008 to 2018 and how many was adopted, euthanized, rehomed, re-released.
I think the numbers showed an overwhelming number of dogs were
Yeah.
Adopted out, right?
The dogs were really.
Cats were the problem, the dogs.
I didn't,
though.
well,
Cats tend to be the problem at any shelter.
There's just so many of them for one
Yeah.
thing, but the dogs, as I remember, I saw the same numbers you did, and the numbers were good.
well, I spoke to one of the commissioners earlier today. We was talking about me being here. And just today, I started out with no names. One lady started out, she moved to the high rise, and she had a cat and 4 kittens. So I've sent emails and stuff out, going to try to help her get her cat spayed through another program I'm involved in and get rehome the kittens. And she's 79. As we start talking more about it, she has 11 more cats outside that she's feeding and don't want them to starve either. None of them are altered. because she never wanted to spend any money on them. They wasn't really hers when they started showing up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So now, I'm looking at another program to maybe help get rid of that. And the second lady has a cat and 4 kittens that her neighbor blocked all the holes under the mobile home so the kittens would die, and she unblocked the holes. So I'm going to try to get them caught and take the female and get her spaded. She's supposed to send me a picture to see if the kittens are past nursing stage or not on the next Tuesday's run. So there is a lot of things that goes on. People say there's nothing going on in the town, and I get all of the CADs from the sheriff department, city police department. I've seen CADs and sent them to people after I blacked the names out, where officers of Tell City was walking down the street knocking on doors at 11 o'clock at night trying to find owners of dogs. So there's a lot of stuff goes on here in the county and the city, but it's not anything that everybody goes out and brags about, or the average person doesn't know about it. But my concern, we need a shelter in the worst kind of way.
We do. And you had mentioned to me about use of the cages in the traps.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make that official action to give Herb Landers the power to use those traps and cages as his discretion for any of these programs.
Herb, are you president of the Perry County Board?
Animal shelter or animal board, yeah.
Control Board?
Chairman.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
But
about
what
the
the
official
plan-
capacities we've got right now.
So might as well utilize the stuff we have.
What the plan is that he's referring to, I talked to him, the shelter has 24 large traps, 18 small traps, and I've got 27 traps of my own. And I plan on trying to do 2 seminars. I'm certified through CCP, CAT something or other, through 3 different programs on trap, neuter, release, and all that. So I was going to take the county traps and put PCLT 001 through 004, and on mine we'll have HLLT 001 through 27. We'll chart everywhere we take these and who has them to try to make sure we get them back. And I was going to try to do a couple of seminars between now and June the 14th, showing people how to actually trap and keep the cats in a live trap, move them from one end to the other to change the bedding and stuff out. And you can easily keep a full-grown cat in a live trap for up to 2 weeks. A lot of people have a misconception. They want to take a cat out and put it in a carrier. When you take a feral cat or a wild cat and put it in a carrier, the vet and his crew have to open that front door and try to contain the cat. We have things called forks you put inside of a live trap, force the cat back in one corner where the vet can inject it, sedate it, take it out, do its job, put it back in.
Better for them, better for the animal too.
Yeah, it's better for them, safer for them, and better for the animal. So that's the reason I want to use the live traps.
As long as we tag them and keep track of them, I have no issue with that. I mean, if it does us some good for the county, that's, I mean, no problem.
You make that motion?
I'll motion it.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second. Roll call. Greg?
Aye?
Randy?
Aye.
I vote aye also. So you have our approval to use them at your discretion. Any
I'll make it back
any
to you.
equipment up there.
Well, I mean, I want to get them all back too, because I want them there for whoever takes over or starts.
But if we
I
can-
mean, just make a checkout list, and
Yeah.
and if you take 27 of them, you write it down.
I'll have all the charts, the name and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thanks, Herb.
All right, y'all have a good evening.
The only thing I had, I did want to know, Randy mentioned the community crossings grant that we did receive $1 million for specific projects through the highway department, specific road projects, which we've had them in a public meeting before, but anybody wants to know what they are, we can sure share that with them. And then also Troy got 35,000, and I'm not sure what their project was for. The community crossing program is a way of NDOT dispersing out additional money for roads. I remember when I first started, when I was commissioner 10 years ago, our biggest complaint, one of our biggest complaints from the commissioners to the budget was the state budget hearings was that we needed money for roads. And first thing, they come out with a one-time disbursement over 2 years. And remember that, Steve, it was 600 and some thousand. And now they've made it in grant forms, which it's the state's way of dispersing out money, which is administered through NDOT for improvements in infrastructure, roads, and some others. One of the big projects Tell City has going is the Main Street. Do you remember that, Chris, by chance? That is still going on. That started a couple mayors ago.
Yeah.
And it's the revitalization of Main Street.
All the way to.
All the way to Payne.
And all the way up Washington.
Up Washington, yes. So that was another project that just hasn't been completed yet. But this community crossings is a great thing. We have been able to utilize and been awarded these grants for the past few years, and it's turned our paving money into 4 times the paving money we had before, basically. It is a matching grant for us. We are at 25%. Some communities like DuBois County are at 50% because of their population, but we only have to match 25%. So we can take our paving money and 4 times as much. And I would congratulate Steve and the Highway Department for their work on getting these. It is a lot of work to pull this together. And
Paperwork, but I have help with that.
you do have, I mean, and it shows. I know you made the comment that you've been very lucky. I don't know if anybody could be that lucky. It's not luck. It's just hard work and showing the need for. So don't cut yourself short. You've done a good job. So.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I got a couple things here. Chris, is that gonna be ready for the next meeting at vacated that road at Bristow?
Yeah, it's gonna be ready for the June meeting,
June meeting, okay.
June 1st meeting.
June 1st, okay.
Whatever that,
Glenn was texting me, so I'll get a hold of him because he's wanting
I
to
think,
be
has
here.
he signed the,
He was supposed to, I don't know.
I'm not sure he has, I'll have to ask him.
Okay.
I'll check.
I called him and told him he needed to get to your office and sign it, so.
But yeah, it will be ready for the
June, okay.
June board, commissioners meeting.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of him, make sure he's here. And I want to talk a little bit about the committee. I said going into this I wasn't going to be on it. I think I'm going to hold to that. I'm going to step back from the committee.
Okay.
Because I'll just leave it at that.
We respect that.
Yep.
All right, next meeting?
Okay, your next meeting will be Tuesday, May 18th at 8 a.m. here at the courthouse. And just also a reminder that that evening, that is the date that's being set for the public input meeting for the sewer expansion discussion in the Leopold area. That's going to be out at Perry Central School at the high school library. That'll be also on May 18th at 7 p.m. That'll be a separate notification that'll be going out for a public meeting notice.
Yeah, and I think, talking to Jody, that the library is the first choice, but if it becomes larger, then they're moved to the cafeteria or gymnasium.
Okay.
So. And I think it's drummed up. I think there's quite a bit of interest. I think it, the people. So. All right, then.
Thank you.